Fellas, I got some news. Bad news. I'm not good at Crucible. I know it's a shock to many of you. However, with this one simple trick, I will show you how you can turn a middling Crucible player into one of the greatest people of all time, circa Sir Demetrius 2015. It's just called use Strand Hunter. Let me explain. Before using this subclass, my impression of Strand Hunter was already that it was really good, better than Warlock Strand for Crucible purposes, general. Now, the reason that is just because Threadlings are an incredibly useful tool, and in my humble opinion, even though I'm not humble, the Strand Hunter is the best way to activate them and use them on a consistent basis and actually direct them in the direction that you want to kill enemies. So real quick, I'm just going to demonstrate the build I was using. And now this time I have an actual build that I took time and created myself. So here it is. I know a lot of you have been dealing with issues against this thing. Let me say, it is completely justified. Your feelings are completely justified. This thing is actually broken when someone like me can do well with it. Now, for the build, it was remarkably simple. Starting off, we were using Gambler's Dodge specifically for the function that it makes your head harder to hit for snipers. Now, as much as the Marksman Dodge reload utility is useful, and I don't really care about the melee recharge, the Gambler's Dodge being able to dodge attacks better was just way better for this build. I am a triple jump purist, obviously Threaded Spike and Threadling Grenades. Aspects, Ensnaring Slam, and Threaded Spectre. Threaded Spectre is the important thing. Now, for Ensnaring Slam, I feel that this could have easily been replaced with Widow Silk, essentially doing it just for the cool points. Preferably, I think I would have rather have played with Widow Silk in the future. I'm going to play with Widow Silk, but just the style points from being able to hit somebody with the backflip into the 1-2, like this amazing clip here just used. For style points. And then for fragments, Thread of Evolution, Thread of Continuity, Thread of Ascent, and Thread of Mind. The only important one of these, in my opinion, is Thread of Evolution. It's just comboed with the Threaded Spectre and the Threaded Grenades. It's just so much. It's almost unstoppable. Being able to spam out 5 Threadlings every 30 seconds, being able to one-shot people or get people down to one shot with the hand cannon, it's crazy. Now, for my build, as you can see, I actually have a real build today because I am a Hunter main. I know, controversial, and who could have guessed it based on my other videos in the performances I was putting up. 100 mobility, 100 resilience. I might have wanted more recovery or more intellect, but having 100 resilience is just so important for surviving Thorn these days. 6 Coyote, being able to have the 2 dodge charges was the key factor of this build. Those dodge charges basically on a 15, 30-second cooldown with having them so frequently to be able to spam the Shadow Clone Jutsus and be able to spam Threadlings, it was incredible. And now for weapons, I've just been using Thorn. Thorn is really good right now. Use it if you can. If not, I used Unending Tempest a little bit for some of the play session. I used Fatebringer a little bit for some of the play session. Didn't do too much work with those, but it is what it is sometimes. For special weapons, I was using Glaciochasm. I was using this fantastic new Indebted of Kindness. The roll isn't good, but it was pretty fun. I was using this thing. I have no idea where I even got this from. I'm pretty sure I got this in the middle of the play session, but hey, I stepped into Trials for the first time, and I was having a good time. Fellwinter is adored. I used Cartesian for 1 single kill, and then I put it away because it got me killed more times than I would like to care for, and apart from that, this is simply what I did for my build, and it's really good. Now, on to the rest of my yapping. Like I said before, the strongest part of this build relies entirely on spamming the Threadlings and the Strand abilities to the best of your ability. Typically, that involves with leading off most engagements with map knowledge or simply seeing somebody's location on the radar scanner, chucking out a Threading Grenade, or using a Shadow Clone Jutsu, and then breaking it, just so you can have Threadlings either engaging for you, getting people weak. Just the Threadlings give you so much information that you can capitalize on. It's almost unfair. I found that the best way to engage was not to hold anything, but to use the Shadow Clone Jutsu as the engage tool, because the Threadling Grenade is a bit more direct and a bit more accurate than the Shadow Clone Jutsu, so I like to save that for specific circumstances. Same thing with the Rope Dart. Now, I was running with basically 20 to 30 strength the entire time, so the timing of the Rope Dart was of utmost importance to being able to play effectively. The ability to essentially reset 20 to 30% of your timer every time you use your melee ability just by catching the Rope Dart was really strong. It didn't work the best around corners. However, I never found it to be any problem. I always had it when I needed. It was more useful as a scouting tool than a cleanup tool, just being able to chuck the dart around a corner and have a track onto someone's approximate location was always a good thing. I did something I don't normally do for this play session. I decided that I was sick and damn tired of Rift because, like I said, there is no regular 6v6 Crucible mode, so I decided I'm gonna go into Trials of Osiris, and it went much, much, much better than I expected, be it the fact that Eternity had a lot of angles and a lot of places for the Threadlings to climb or whatnot, but Threadling spam just so happened to be my bread and butter, where I was using the Threadlings as both an engage and a cleanup tool, and it didn't seem like anything that I was doing could go wrong. It was just simple mistakes, figuring it out, trying to determine which special weapons were going to be the thing that I used more often than not. It was just a little bit of a learning curve, but it was so easy to learn how to use and how to abuse Strand Hunter, despite playing maybe a combined 8 hours of Crucible in the past 6 months, that I am genuinely amazed that this subclass is in the state that it's in. Like, seriously surprised. Touching briefly on the Silk Strike, now, it was hit or miss for me. When I was playing sixes, I found that it was really good, being able to chain together a vast amount of kills just based purely off the mobility. In Trials, I was playing an intellect stat so low that I typically didn't get it unless we were going into round 8 or 9. I got it on round 7 once, but never had a good opportunity to use it because it was shut down so easily for me. The usability of it, the left click, the right click was complete garbage, but honestly, the light attack for this super was so incredible in the time that I used it. I thought that I couldn't be stopped. Like, genuinely, it was just good, clean, fun, even though the clips I was hitting with it were just absolutely disgustingly filthy. As much as I would like to yap on about the strengths of this subclass, I would like to talk about its weaknesses for a moment, because there are a couple. Obviously, it is so strong ability-wise that you don't need to be the best gun player imaginable. However, it did have some weaker matchups, that being Void Titans and Solar Warlocks. The Overshield and the regeneration that they get, being able to easily shrug off the Threadling damage if you weren't being overwhelmingly aggressive, just because without the Grapple Grenade, it is hard to close the distances and get around the barricade and the rifts. So that's what I saw a lot, is Void Titans and Solar Warlocks hugging tight corners or just abusing their regeneration and shields to the best of their abilities. To get around this weakness, my favorite strategy was to dodge backwards and use the Shadow Clone Jutsu as essentially a human shield. The clip that you're watching right now demonstrates what that kind of looks like, just bobbing and weaving back and forth and just using it as something solid, basically making your own cover whenever you want, even if it is relatively weak cover that you can destroy yourself in one shot, but that's just what I was doing. Besides those things, I really have nothing else to say. I mean, besides that, I feel that it is currently the second or first best subclass in the entire game. Admittedly, I haven't played Void Titan yet for my series, and I haven't played Solar Warlock yet for my series, but I think that those three are going to be the best. So I'm just going to put the tier list real quick and rank it where I feel that Strand Hunter deserves. And where I feel that Strand Hunter deserves to be is in the sufficiently broken tier. I cannot in good conscience say that this subclass isn't too oppressive and too powerful. This is probably, I mean, not probably, definitely the most broken subclass I've used so far. We'll see in the future if Void Titan or Solar Warlock are any better. Like I said, I have a feeling that they are going to be, because those are the only things that could shut me down as a Strand Hunter. But apart from that, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all the comments, even those that disagree with all of my takes and wish me death because of that. Keep them coming. If you want to, leave a comment saying something nicer or something meaner. Meanest comment will get featured. Surprise me, shock me, and leave me build ideas. Share this with your friends. Maybe even leave a little like. And until next time, I leave you with the dirtiest double kill with Glacial Chasm that I've ever gotten. Thank you for watching.